I am so humbled to have been asked by Speakers Pathway Coalition to just share some information that I truly, truly hope will impact lives for the better. You know, from what I'm seeing on Facebook and Messenger, it appears many people are using their quarantine time to do positive activities, to uplift their own spirits as well as the spirits of others. There are viral Zumba classes, viral chats, playwriting competitions, and of course, here we are doing a viral event to build hope, inspiration, and support. Many people are spending time with family or getting some of those tasks and chores done that they've been putting off. I'm not really one of them. I'm still not doing my tasks and chores, but maybe you are. However, this is a perfect time for us to also focus on self improvement and the future. Everybody knows there's an enormous amount of fear and panic. There are empty grocery shelves, there's a shortage of toilet paper, which absolutely no one seems to be able to explain. But when this hashtag quarantine and hashtag social distancing is over, and the fear and panic about COVID-19 has died down, many people will still be dealing with the fears they had before this virus was even around. Fears of being alone, not being good enough, not attractive enough, not smart enough, not being liked, not being loved, not enough money, fear of illness. It's a pretty long list. There was an article in the New York Observer a few years ago that said, and I quote, "Fear is the new normal." The article mentioned that maybe we should learn to live with fear. Now, who does that sound good to? Some fears are very real. We do know that terrorism is real. Whether you believe it or not, there are fears about global warming. There are people with medical debt. Fear can destroy your health. And just because you're not sick doesn't mean you're healthy. You know, sometimes the person you never thought would get sick, I mean, really sick, gets really sick. Unfortunately, so many times, one of our family or friends gets the terrible news that they have some type of dis-ease in the body. And that's exactly what it is, a state of dis-ease. And sometimes it might seem as if it was sudden, but it's really not. Remember, just because you're not sick doesn't mean you're healthy. And that's what happened in my family to two people that I love so much. Their cells and body systems were dealing with things that we didn't know about until the damage became apparent. So we hijack our bodies when they deal with fear on a constant basis. So let's spend some time talking about renewing our minds. And the first step in renewing our mind is knowing where we are right now. How many of your actions are a result of emotions which started as a thought? Let's look at just some of the signs of fear and how fear affects our bodies and some ways that we can lessen the damage. So do you make important decisions without giving enough thought to the outcome because of a fear of the unknown? So maybe you jump to the decision to delay a medical procedure or purchase a house without taking the time to analyze the facts because of fear of what might happen. Do you always see only the negative when faced with a decision to make? Your thoughts just fly out of control, and that little small voice that should lead you in the right way, you can't even hear because your thoughts are drowning it out. Fear won't let you try anything new or venture into the unknown, even though you're not content where you are now. Fear stops you from making any decision at all sometimes, which of course is a decision in itself. There is nothing positive about these kinds of fear because they're not cautionary fears, like how we stop at a red light to make sure the intersection's clear before we make a right turn. Fear is about prepping our bodies for oncoming danger. So our bodies go to work releasing hormones. They speed up some systems like our heart and blood flow to muscles for quicker movement and sharper eyesight. But it slows down things like our digestive system because digesting that rice, veggie, whatever is just not important now. because your life is in danger, fight or flight response. So when you speed up and slow down systems in your body over and over, it will cause damage. Know this, your brain can take short-term memory and make it a long-term memory so that you recall the situations over and over. The result, your body reacts the same way over and over. So my faith tells me that my body was not designed to carry stress and that staying healthy requires me to give my stress to God. The interesting thing is, if you take faith out of the equation, our bodies literally are physically not designed to deal with stress anyway. So when parts of our brain, mainly the hypothalamus, receives messages of fear and anxiety and other negative feelings, it completely throws the balance off, the balance that's referred to as homeostasis. In that itty bitty little part of our brain, that big job of the hypothalamus is to keep everything perfect, from temperature to heart contractions and many more systems and body movements. Even medical science agrees that that gland responds when emotions are negative. And a lack of balance in any one of the 10 systems in our bodies can cause stress-related conditions, from cardiovascular diseases to overeating, depression, eczema, tension headaches, backaches, and so much more. So how do we start creating hope and health and rise from the fear? A study at Harvard said that optimistic people and joy can actually prevent heart attacks by lowering the risk. Whenever you take time thinking about something, it only gets bigger and stronger in your mind. When fear, a negative thought, comes into your mind, remember, it's something you do not want. You don't want to feel you're not good enough or that you don't deserve love. So when you hear, I'm not good enough, focus on the I am, the opposite. You are good enough. You do deserve love. Train your brain to disagree with fearful thoughts, because the thoughts you replace them with will also only get bigger and stronger in your mind. Next, positive thoughts create positive emotions, which create positive actions. For instance, turn an I can't change jobs to a I can change jobs. And whatever fear told you you couldn't do, you can turn it around and that positive action will follow. Pull your phone out later today and take just a few minutes to jot down 8 to 10 things you feel truly, truly grateful for. And then look at it every time before you pop onto Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or anything else right now, so that you feel that gratitude instead of the negativity that wants to become a part of you. Researchers at the University of Chicago recorded positive feelings translate to less worry and lower levels of cortisol, which is responsible for the fight or flight response. But when we have good feelings, it just continues to do its regular job. Next, try and expect your glass to be half full instead of half empty. And start thinking positive so you can create more for your future. Laugh a lot. Find funny movies that you want to take time to watch. Laughter is so good for the soul, and it produces chemicals that reduce pain and create a general sense of well-being. Negative thoughts are toxic, can actually create toxins in our body. Our bodies are running hijacked right now. And we already have about 26 sextillion free radicals running around in our body. And it takes millions of antioxidants to neutralize those free radicals. So think about the 10 systems in your body as God's pharmacy. They create chemicals based on your emotions, which come from your thoughts, which will turn into actions. You know, Nelson Mandela said, your choices reflect your hopes, not your fears. Don, Jim, thank you again so much. It's been an absolute privilege to be here and to have the opportunity to share information with people that hopefully will have an impact on their lives.